Um, okay. So I want to make sure that we actually just get started right away and people can trickle in as they trickle in. Thank you so much. Why do I see so many black squares? Why? I want to see your faces. We're in a clinic. Hi, Belgium. Thank you. Um, yeah, thank you, Ellen. Hi. Hi, Bree. Yeah, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's just your face and your beautiful smile and your eyes, which I like to be in contact with. So I have some of your submissions. Thank you for being curious about your own body, about your own mind, and wanting to do things differently. Okay, I'll thank you, let me know. Um, Wanting to do things differently, wanting to move through things more holistically, powerfully, comprehensively. Ayurveda has got your back, honestly. So, how about we just dive in? Does that feel good? Hi, Saina. Beautiful. So, I'll just go in the order of people that are here. Um, so, let's actually start with Ellen. So, Ellen just told me that she has acne and digestive problems. You have tried cutting out coffee, you've tried cutting out processed sugar, you apply some external things on your face. Um, you've made some dietary changes to help with the skin. You've you always had very oily skin and dealt with acne, but it's been exceptionally bad in the last 6 months. And then you have these digestive issues that come and go. So PS on the side, you have been traveling in Latin America for a year, so it could be just the fluctuation of the bacteria. You had some, um, you feel like your gut is sensitive. You did have some parasite and bug in the beginning, and you do get bouts of diarrhea and loose stool often. Is that, does that feel right? Is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's everything that I like briefly what I put in the form. I think, yeah, in my mind, like the traveling thing and the fact that I've been in very hot countries, I feel like it's like a heat thing. And yeah, I feel like I need to somehow cool down, but I don't know how. And it also sort of, I don't know how it combines with my yoga practice, because I have been doing Ashtanga for the past like 6 months as well. And it's a very like fiery practice. And I'm just seeing these like fiery elements, and then also like my skin flaring up and my digestive system not being quite like normal. So yeah, I've tried different things, but I never quite really understand what the issue is. So yeah.
Yeah. So you are right to associate and understand heat and the fire energy to be very alive in you. And that's very much expressed in acne. Acne is red. It's like it's in the skin, it's in the blood. And these are all tissues and energies related to fire, the fire element, the pitta dosha. So you're very right to listen and feel that and hear that. And you're very right as well to say Ashtanga and those hot countries could be aggravating factors that are making it exceptionally worse. So the first thing I want to say about Ashtanga is that I know that usually in the usual spaces in which you practice it, it tends to be a fiery practice, but it doesn't need to be a fiery practice. It can be a very grounding and balanced practice. It really depends on how you arrive to the math and how you approach the practice. So if you have observed and understood that the way in which you're practicing right now is creating a lot of heat. Maybe there's excess sweating. Maybe you're feeling like you're pushing yourself because you're in spaces where people are. You're in collective spaces where people are, maybe more advanced practitioners, maybe the teachers. Um, there's a specific way. So it's really on you to understand your body's needs and create some very clear boundaries with that, because it's your practice, it's your life, it's your health. It doesn't matter how other people are doing it. So just think the Ashtanga practice first has this beautiful series of standing postures, which are quite opening and quite in the air and can be gentle if you're doing it in a normal pace, right? You've experienced that. Then you have the seated postures, which is a lot of jump backs. Maybe you don't need to do all of the jump backs. There's no point in doing something if it's not holistically appropriate for you. And I know with certain practices, it's harder to actually say, this is actually not suiting me or this is, but you're going to save yourself from a lot of long-term disease and injury if you begin to recalibrate right now how you arrive to this practice, because that chronic heat is only going to get more and more alive and expressed in you over time, if not dealt with right now. And that's expressing itself through your gut as well, right? And the gut is the key to all round sensations of well being. It's just exceptionally uncomfortable to have to go to the bathroom all the time, or to feel that you're not really digesting the food that you do eat, or there's just malabsorption or irritation. It extends to all aspects of your feeling of wellness and aliveness. So, of course, you're in a hot country, so in hot places, there's little you can do about that. But the one thing I will say to you is the specific flavors that you eat. So it's amazing that you've already cut out dairy and processed foods and you're cleaning up your diet and trying to eat more whole foods. This is step number one, 100%. And then it's going even deeper. What are the precise foods that actually contain heat in them? And if my body's at capacity, then I need to be clear that it's just not serving me to bring more of those foods. And one specific flavor that's more closely associated with oiliness, which is also a very specific expression that's showing up for you, is the sour flavor. So sour, fruits or lemon, tomato, oranges, those flavors are not good, not suiting you, as well as chili flavors, pungent flavors, so ginger, garlic, onions. Um, Fish is heating as well. Excess salt, pepper. And what will suit you are flavors that specifically help to flush the heat out, which are more bitter and astringent flavors. So raw plantain, dandelion root, dandelion greens, kale, spinach, bitter flavors. Neem is exceptionally good for the skin. So where are you right now, Ellen?
Yeah, so with the foods, I'm aware of like different things that affect my body, but I also find it difficult to fully know what the effect is and therefore like fully incorporate those changes. Like I don't know for sure that like all dairy is bad for me, so I'm not fully committing to cutting it out. Or for example, if I've read up about different foods, like for example the lemon, the sour, I did hear that the sour is is maybe clashing with the heat or triggering the heat, but sometimes I'm just not fully convinced or something, so I don't fully like commit to the changes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And yeah, like would you say that I should try to fully like cut out these things, like lime, for example? I put lime in my tea every day. Like, is that something that I shouldn't be doing?
So lime, a green lime, is actually it doesn't, even though it's sour, it's an exception to the rule. It's cooling. So lime is fine. Lemon, yellow lemon. And the dairy, anything that's fermented is heated. So kimchi, pickles, um, cheeses, all of these things. It You are not at the level where you know moment to moment how everything that you're eating is affecting your body. So you have to trust the wisdom. You have to trust it at some point, right? And then as your body becomes more and more flushed out of toxins and aggravations, it will actually be very clear to you the moment you put in something into your body, how it's affecting you and how it's feeling. But at this point, it requires your faith, it requires your trust, and it requires your full commitment. So with dairy, I mean, like I was thinking more cheeses where you are. So cheese, I would cut out definitely. Um, because I didn't imagine that you were having fresh ghee or fresh cow's milk, which are both sweet. Um, so yeah, I was asking where you were in terms of like accessibility. I'm echoing. Oh, Danya, can you turn your mic
Yeah,
off?
sorry.
No, no. Um, I was thinking more in terms of accessibility, like what types of herbs. I will mute Danya. What types of herbs you have access to, because neem, I know like in Santa Marta in Colombia, like there's so many neem trees growing around and it's just so good for flushing out heat. But yeah, in terms of sticking the course with avoiding the things, how can you how can you see results of anything if you go 70%? That makes no sense. You have to say, okay, I'm going to commit to this for 6 months and then make a opinion about whether it's working for me or not. Does that feel right for you? Is that landing?
Yeah, it does. It does. And I think it helps like hearing that as well, because if I just read things online, then I think I'm less convinced
Right, of
of my,
course.
yeah.
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 So you will see, you already have some basic understanding of Ayurveda. If you go pitta aggravating diet, pitta, like we don't want pitta foods. Whatever comes up, be clear with it. Once in a while, it's fine, but have a clear sense. Okay, pungent chili, garlic, peppers, onions, sour fruits, fermented fruits, fermented fruits, pickles are all heating. They're not serving you. And then things that can help to flush out the heat. So specifically bitter astringent flavors, raw plantain, bitter greens, dandelion roots. The sweet lime is totally fine. Sugar cane, even sweeter flavors, but not too much sweet flavors because there's still an element of oiliness that's also aggravating, and that's very present in your gut as well because it's so tending to be loose. And so even actually incorporating, and I don't often say this to people, but actually incorporating some dry cereals like granola, for example, muesli can actually be supportive to you. Toast, arepa, right? These things can be they're not super oily. They're more in the drier side. This can actually be supportive to you because think about it, it's a quality in your body that you need to balance out. That's it. So less oily, less hot, more cooling, more dry. and your practice needs to be slightly adjusted. And if we were working together more, then I would start to take you into cooling pranayams as well. But this is a good starting point.
Thank you. That's great. I think I just need to actually incorporate things and see the results. Yeah.
Yeah, you will 100%. There's
Yeah.
no doubt. I have at least 2 people here who have had the same issues as you and stuck to the course and have seen the results.
Okay. Amazing.
So it's real.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, yeah. Jane knows it, Joe knows it. We have a couple of fiery girls in this group. If Millie were here, she'd know it too. So let's go with Saina. So Saina,
Hi.
hi Sai. So Sai said to me, back pain, knee pain, sciatica nerve, acne, and fatigue. So you got a little bit with the acne, right? You got a little bit of insight with what could be. Oh,
Oh,
there. Hello. I just dropped off mid sentence, but you all are still here. God. Yeah, I think it's just my laptop is getting old now. Where was I at mid sentence? I was saying you probably got some insight about the acne, right? So
yeah,
beautiful. So let's focus more on the joint pains and the nerve pains. Does that feel good?
yeah.
So, you've said tried yoga. Is there anything else specifically that you've tried that you want to share?
No, so part of that I wrote for myself, and then also part of it I wrote for people that I do yoga with that I know that I'm gonna be taking it,
Mm,
doing it extensively. So I was focusing on the main issues that
very good.
I hear from people.
Well, okay, very good. This is very good. Yeah. So most people come with all sorts of different pains and tensions and chronic nerve issues.
Right.
So this is some of the first questions that I would be asking them. Um, One of the first questions I'd be asking them is about the types of food that they're eating and the rhythm that they're eating. So even though so there are two aspects about pain. The first is obviously there's a lot of emotional, energetic, and mental tension that gets accumulated in the body, right? So one aspect is to really understand the roots of that mental, emotional tension and to help them move through that so that they're not constantly creating the same stress again and again and again, right? So if we go into the root cause, one root cause could be maybe postural, just the way that they're sitting all day. But oftentimes it's not as simple. So yoga can help with that in terms of opening up their body, getting circulation, realigning. But if day in and day out, the same causative factors are coming in, then it's only doing so much. One causative factor comes from the way in which they're thinking and processing their emotions. One causative factor comes from the energy of wind and air that creates degeneration and wrong flow, incorrect circulation, and incorrect movement of flow and circulation in the body, which creates a lot of pain. So we have to tend to both of those things. In this moment, obviously, I don't know the types of mental and emotional issues that people would be coming with, so let's not get into that. But even still, there's an aspect of there's this mental toxic accumulation that's happening that we need to help them release, and we need to make sure that their bodies are grounded and are not degenerating because of excess air and wind energy. So in this case, the first thing that I would say that is absolutely non-negotiable that they need to cut out of their life is anything that is cold. Iced lattes, cold sodas, cold leftovers from the fridge, cold sandwiches, iced anything is what is it doing? Is contracting. It's closing up in the full body what needs to open out and be released. And it's aggravating the energy of wind and air, which has a cool quality to it. And we want that to be very balanced. So bringing warmth into these people's lives is going to be very important. And I'm not saying heat because I don't know whether their body can handle the heat, right? They might have some associating issues like the ones that Ellen just came with. So warmth. Warmth means a lot of warm cooked meals, warm teas, warm compress, warm baths, herbs that are warming in nature, like cumin seeds, like ginger, like lemongrass. Just most herbs are warming in nature, but ones that aren't too sharp or heating till I know further. But this already is life-changing. Oils that are warming, sesame oil. So even applying sesame oil on the areas of pain and discomfort, and then applying heat on that. The oil has a warming, grounding nature, which gets absorbed into those areas and helps to push out the excess wind and cold energy that's creating pain. And it helps to nourish the body. And when the body is nourished, it naturally operates more effectively. So things that are going haywire, that are creating nerve damage and nerve pain, start to heal more seamlessly themselves. So that's the first absolute non-negotiable thing that I would say when it comes to especially like sciatica nerve pains and knee pains and joint pains. Joint pains are like there's excess space and degeneration in areas where there should be things held together, where there should be lubrication, where there should be tissue, where there should be like nourishing substance. And because of wear and tear, because of emotional toxic accumulation, this is not, unfortunately, there's just so much depletion. That's what the word I was looking for. There's so much depletion there that we need to start bringing strength back to. So how is that sounding for you as an initial?
That sounds really good.
Right? Is it making sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's incredible how such simple shifts can go such a long way. It just needs to be done consistently. I think that's a good starting point. You feel complete with that for now?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. You're so welcome. Let me just make sure anyone else is in the call and no one's waiting. Okay, beautiful. So let's go with Bree.
Mhm.
Yeah?
Yes. So,
Okay. You want to share?
yeah.
Because I have your.
Or you can go first. Sorry, I just got ahead of myself.
Okay. So actually, I'm not going to spend too much time on yours. Just because, okay, so let me just share it. So Bree speaks about fear, worry, stress, chronic pain, and speaking up about certain triggering issues within the family space and outside of the family space, and just moving through this moment in your life where you are opening up your throat chakra, you're speaking in more truth, you're expressing your boundaries more clearly, you're expressing your needs and your feelings more clearly, and it's not necessarily received in the way that you'd hope for it to be received, and it's creating some space and distance between you and family members. And there's a part of you that's accepting that, but there's also a part of you that's feeling outcast or detached and reckoning with all those those karmic cycles of just moving through real trauma with the family and how that is all coming alive. And you said you've tried yoga, therapy, implementation of herbs and teas, change in eating habits, conscious consumption, balancing hormones, reducing cortisol. Is there anything more you want to add to this?
No, I was actually taking in on what you were speaking before on the herbs, and it helped me understand a lot more of like what I need. Because I do feel like a lot of what I'm experiencing is it's like um it makes me feel like cold in a way.
Mm,
And I need to find a way to bring warmth back
mm,
into like my internal space.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
I noticed that sharp heat affects me in a negative way. So I I'm gonna implement more of just like some warmth instead of going to like direct sharp heat.
Yeah, very smart. I'm very glad that the two previous pieces helped bring some clarity to you. So there actually, now that you're speaking, two more things came for me. The one is about overall regulation of the nervous system. So all of us, I think here, and like, thank you for sharing that so vulnerably, because I believe all of us in this space can identify with an experience of coming into a new version, a new level of ourselves, and asserting certain boundaries, certain needs, expressing ourselves in this more radical, more truthful, aligned way. But it's uncomfortable for the body. It's actually it's difficult for the body because it's very unfamiliar. It's very going against this comfort of this being closed and being shut off and not saying what we need. So it brings up a lot. And we have to think about it. It's almost like going through, I was talking to one of my students about this recently, like going through a ceremony, like going through a ceremonial experience of like a psychedelic or plant medicine. You need to incorporate aftercare. The nervous system is and will be dysregulated because it's a lot. So, what does aftercare look like? What does self-soothing practices look like? What is holding yourself tenderly and with love and grounding and care look like so that your body can actually recalibrate and get used to this new version and this new level that you've stepped into? To become comfortable and okay with this version of you that's speaking her truth and that's creating different, relationships and intimacies and dialogues in a space that are radical. So a big part of nervous system regulation is associated with calming the fluctuations of wind, air, vata energy in the mind-body system and bringing them into center. And warmth is a very crucial way in which we do that. So all of the things that I mentioned to Sai in terms of warming foods, and it's like all the time, for breakfast, instead of having Greek yogurt and an orange juice and a toast and jam and eggs, okay, things that people usually eat, a warm cup of oatmeal, a warm bowl of soup. In India, we only eat warm foods for breakfast. It's just like unheard of to eat anything cold. Even in China, like in these places where they eat still the traditional foods for breakfast, in Thailand, in China, in India, I believe even in like in Vietnam, I'm just thinking about in Japan, they'll eat like a small bowl of rice with warm broth or what's that thing? Uh, what's it called? It's like oatmeal, but it's not made with oats. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? In Thailand, what?
I thought you were
Congee.
speaking of like
Congee.
corn or
Congee.
something.
I'm speaking of congee. That's the word. Yeah, congee is like warm, wholesome, nourishing. So, just looking through your day and seeing when you tend to just like grab something cold left over from the fridge to eat, and maybe just saying, okay, I'm going to take 3 minutes extra to pan fry it with some little bit of ghee or whatever, just make it warm. Add some cumin seeds, add some turmeric, add some cinnamon, add some nutmeg. These are all very warming and grounding to the body, turning towards warm teas. So that's one aspect that definitely keep in mind in terms of regulating the nervous system. The second is that there's a quality of mind that we all collectively need to start cultivating more. This is a sattvic quality of mind. Sattva means pure equilibrium in harmony. This is an experience of contentment, of inner joy, of trust, of satisfaction. And all of us ultimately want to be in that place where we can be making hard decisions but not be attached to the outcome, where we can be doing hard work but not get lost in the fruits and the results of it. And simultaneously, in your case, Bree, we can be having hard conversations but not get swept into how people around us may react or not react, or take us or not take us. So cultivating more of this inner sense of contentment and peace is also something that our foods and our herbs can support us with. There are a lot of different practices, and hopefully, I think Bree is someone that's potentially going to be joining my next cohort of the Embodied Ayurveda Certification Program. And just an FYI, there are a lot of girls in this container right now that are in the program right now. So this is kind of like a learning experience for all of them, because this is all knowledge that they know. I'm not saying anything that they don't know. This is all stuff that they've worked through, moved through, studied. And I hope all of you girls envision a version where you could be the one speaking exactly the words that I'm speaking. Yes, good. So this quality of sattva there are a lot of things, Bree, that you and I would be more intimately working through to bring that into your life. But a good starting point is still with herbs. And some beautiful herbs to incorporate for you are cardamom seeds, saffron, lavender. Hi, Luna. I think we just had Luna join. I feel like you know those memes of moms trying to take pictures from their phone and they're just like touching a bunch of things because I'm never on this Google Meet on my phone. I'm just like, how do I see all of you? Uh, okay. I can see that Luna has joined, but I can't see her face. Fine. So be it. But Bree, is that feeling good for you, what I just said?
Yes, it does. I've actually been drinking a lot more like I boil cinnamon water and
Beautiful.
I put it into my tea. I don't know if maca or ashwagandha, how would that be?
So ashwagandha is grounding, it's heavy, it's very good for just it's good for vata, but it is heating and it's heavy to digest. So I often only recommend ashwagandha after a couple of weeks of detoxifying the body and strengthening the digestion so that it's ready to be fully received. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste.
Okay. Okay, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome. And maca roots, I'm not too sure about. Yeah. But you can trust your own body as well and feel how it feels for you. And if you can feel like it's making a difference, continue. If you don't feel like it, then pause it because that's disrespectful to the plants. And hopefully when we work together, we'll set your body up so that it's fully ready to receive the potency of these more intense herbs.
Okay. Thank you so much, Niv.
You're so welcome. That's feeling good and complete?
Yes, it's just what I needed.
Perfect. Okay, so I want to go in with Luna. I can't, ugh, I just wish I could see your face. Okay, nice.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Okay, good. I can hear you. That's good enough for me. Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you, so
Hi.
it's okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, perfect. So you came right in time because we just finished with some of the other girls' inquiries. So let's move to yours. So you mentioned doubts, fears, self-doubts, and you've tried meditation and connecting with nature. Is there anything more you want to add to that?
Yeah, that's me right now. I'm
Okay.
like trying to, I don't know, like to think like everything is gonna be okay, you know?
Yeah.
Like life is so perfect right now. And it's like, yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking about it, you know? It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for context for the other girls, because I know a little bit more about you than everyone else does. So I already know that you are a very active, healthy, physically fit woman who really thinks about what you put into your body, how you
Mm.
carve out your day. Um, and I'm sure there's still things that we could fine tune from an Ayurvedic approach, but in general, that piece of your life feels taken care of. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So that's why for you, I want to offer a slightly different approach that Ayurveda would offer. Are you open to hearing it?
Yeah, of course. Please.
So, so there, okay, so yeah, just, doubt and fear is something I think all of the girls here can identify with. So I'm really actually grateful that you brought it into the space, because regardless of how perfect life looks like or everything's going great, it's just such an experience that we all collectively feel and hold. And I believe more so as women.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of things coming through for me for you. The first is because your work is so centered in the physical, in your dancing, in your moving, in your taking care of the body and the food that you're eating, in your pole dancing. There's a lot of engagement that you have with the physical, with the material, with the circumstantial, with the 3D. And this aspect of life is necessary. It's necessary that you have it cleaned up, that you have it taken care of, that you have it nurtured and cared for. It's just like so essential, and a lot of people neglect it. So it's incredible that you've brought so much care here. But there's a piece of understanding that the circumstances are actually very fragile. This physical body is a transient realm. And when we are giving so much energy to it, it takes us away from the subtle, the deeper aspects of the self, which are in complete connection to the divine, your innate wholeness, your innate perfection, which is the truth of you. It's the truth of you. And you intellectually know that. You logically know that, because you're someone that works with like health and healing. And so you're very much aware, again, like on an intellectual level, that things are good, things are right. But the fact is that it needs to happen on a subconscious level. It needs to be so deeply wired in that your attention and your awareness be turned into the subtle aspects of you, where things don't need to look a certain way in order for it to be perfect. There's no comparison, there's no imperfection, there's only wholeness, there's only enoughness, there's only divinity, there's only perfection. And you can be so filled with that reminder. You can be so filled with that bigger picture that it's so immediately taking the space of those little voices and fears that come up. And that's the practice. That's the practice. And that's, I think, why meditation is so potent for you, because it allows you to really drop into that deeper, subtle body that is you. It's core to you. It allows you to go back there. But I would say now is a time for you to really incorporate practices that help you orient towards the subtle through the day consistently.
Wow, thank
Because,
you. Yeah.
So that's one piece. And there's another piece that's just coming through for me, which is with regards to the masculine and feminine energetics, which are currently not in integration. And again, I think it's because, and this is a collective phenomenon that I'm noticing, that I'm just bringing up for you individually, because we're just talking about you. But I know as well, from the way in which you run your business and do your work and are active for the collective, for your vision, for your purpose here, that there's so much organizing, doing, all of
Creating.
all of the physical, the tangible, the action, the planning. I've even seen sometimes, like, you're so on it, like with your syllabus and then this and that. It's just like so many pieces that you're constantly thinking through and doing. And again, absolutely needed, absolutely necessary. But it's possible that through all of this, you have neglected allowing the inner feminine aspects of just feeling and sensing and knowing and allowing guidance from that space.
Mm-hmm.
That feminine aspect of you, she's evolving, she's growing, but in this moment in time, she doesn't feel fully safe to express herself and show herself within you. So there's this heavy, constant questioning because everything is so in your mind. So
Mm-hmm.
you're just second guessing, you're second guessing. So a big part of this, what we would move through, what Ayurveda and yoga would invite you into, is actually facilitating inner union of the masculine and the feminine energetics, because your core intuition, the deepest parts of you, she's in clarity. She knows what she knows who you are. She knows what she wants. She knows what is worthy of her. She knows what she deserves. She knows it's going to be fine. She knows who she
Mm-hmm.
can step into. And the masculine aspects of you need to begin trusting that and allowing space for that and following with that.
Mm-hmm. 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 Wow. Yeah. Completely true.
So this is actually like deeper energetic work. So what I spoke through with the other girls,
Mm-hmm.
and you missed it, and sorry, something's coming up in my throat, was more about foods and herbs and kind of like flavors,
Okay.
which is which is great because now this group here is getting of even a fuller spectrum of Ayurveda, which is now the deeper energetic pieces, the subtle orientation, the invitation of the feminine energetic, and what are certain practices that could help you to facilitate that. So if we were working together, 4 that come immediately to my mind that are ones that um, most of my students have worked through at some point. The first you probably already do, so continue doing that, which is just 5 minutes of bringing awareness to your breath in stillness. No moving, no dancing, no nothing, no, just awareness of the breath as it comes in and out. No forced breathing. The breath is so spectacular because it exists in multiple realms. It's oxygen, it's the physical, it's the material, we can feel it, but it's also subtle. It's prana, it's vital life force, it's ethereal. It connects us to the spiritual realm. So just tuning into that subtlety of your breath day in and day out begins to unlock parts of your awareness that are currently not exercised. So that's one piece, just 5 minutes. Then taking it to the next level, Nadhi Shodhana, which is alternate nostril breathing, which is something maybe you already do as well. So alternate nostril breathing is harmonizing the masculine and the feminine energetics. It's an inhale through the left, exhale out through the right, inhale through the right, exhale out through the left. So what you're doing is you're activating the left nostril, which is associated with the lunar, the moon, the feminine, and harmonizing it with the right nostril, which is associated with the masculine, the solar. So just on a very subtle energetic level, you're bringing them into deeper conversation. You're bringing the right brain and the left brain into deeper conversation. And again, it's gentle, it's subtle, but it's done over time that begins to unlock and open things in your body. So those are two breathing practices that would be essential. The third practice would be, honestly, this is just such a fun practice. All of you girls here, I invite you all into this because all of us neglect the feminine in our beings, to be quite honest, is a practice I just call receiving, where 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you just lay down in your bed or in a chair in a nice place, wherever, and you just think about things that you feel in deep gratitude for or that you desire, that feels good for you. And you allow yourself to receive it. Like, just feel like you're receiving it, you're soaking it, you're accepting it, you're in receptivity. That's the feminine energetic activated. She receives. She just is, and she receives. And you allow yourself to receive. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to be anyone. You just, you could receive $50,000 tomorrow for no reason, and you're worthy of it. Right? You don't have to do anything for it. But what if the feminine is so closed energetically that she doesn't even allow herself to receive that? Which is a lot of us. Like, we think we have to do something. We have to prove ourselves in order to receive what is divinely ours: health, wealth, self-expression, and love. We don't have to do anything. We just are that. We are that. We get to be in that place, and allowing ourselves to receive is a very good practice. And the fourth is self-massage. Again, you're just receiving your own touch, you're nourishing your own body, you're tapping into the sensations, the feeling, the knowing. So all of these are beyond the intellect. They're beyond the mind. They're not you telling yourself, it's okay, it's going to be fine. Why do you have to doubt? Because that's only taking you so far. Then it's coming again, and it's coming in again, and it's coming again. So let's start working with the energetic body, with the subtle body, slowly over time, and building strength and foundation from there. How is that sounding for you?
Yeah, well, thank you. I will do it. I will definitely do it because yeah, I'm right now I'm living from my masculine. Like, I have to work, I have to produce, I have to do this, I have to do that. You know, it's like doing and doing and doing and creating more things, and that's my life right now. Like, just trying to work and work and work and work. And yeah, my feminine side is like, hey, chill. It's like it's
Yeah.
Sunday, you can chill. And I'm like, no, I'm feel guilty. Like right now, I need to go to work. I need to, I don't know, to do whatever
Yeah.
that I want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
I completely understand you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. You're so welcome. Yeah, it's actually so crucial. Like, it's just so neglected, I think, again, like collectively across genders, but the fact that we as women, or women identifying here in this space at least, um have the coded, like, in the material world, we represent the feminine energetic. Of course, in every individual body, we have both, but in the larger spectrum, all of us here at least do. And so the fact that even we who represent this energetic have completely neglected it is like an even deeper violence to our God-given gifts, and like, yeah, just gift, it's like like flowers aren't allowing anyone to smell them, anyone to come to them. that's the energetic field we create when we neglect the feminine. It's like blessings don't come to me. I have to go to you. And that creates a lot of stress in the body. That ripples out to financial stress, relationship stress, emotional stress, work-related stress, everything. What about all of us collectively envisioning a reality in which we are so tuned in to this God-given energy of receptivity that we get to actually just be more, do less, and receive more? So this is actually like within, I think, the second class itself, and some of my students are actually here, Luna, we go really into just, girls, I need you to be in the practice of receiving. Before we study, before we go into the technical ins and outs of Ayurveda, before you do all the deep dive, are you in the practice of actually receiving, allowing yourself to be open to the knowledge, the study, the wisdom, the integration, but your own deeper aspects of intuition and knowing and truth and clarity, because we have it all already. That's the beyond the subtle. There's the physical, there's the subtle, and then the causal, which is us, a intrinsic part of us. Already, right now, in this present moment, everything that we desire, everything that we envision is already ours. If we act in a way that is counter to that, it will never be ours. If we are constantly chasing it and saying, oh, it's not, I have to do this in order to be worthy of this, I have to do that in order to be this, and that translates to health as well. So I invite you all as well, when you are doing these practices of self-care, when you are making these integrations, whether it's the food integrations I invited you into, the herbal integrations, the warming integrations, do it not with the energy of I'm going somewhere, I'm chasing something, I'm fixing something. Rather, I'm just returning home. It's subtle, but it's powerful. How is that landing for all of you? Good. I'm glad. You have a question, Luna? Oh, no. Yeah?
No, I'm just trying to send you hearts, but I don't know how to do it.
Yeah. We're all grandmas on this. Yeah. So let me just make sure I went through. You got the chills done, yeah. So yeah, I had a couple of different inquiries come in, but actually some of them didn't show in live. But I honestly feel really like I just feel like we just went through so much, so many layers, so many pieces. And just returning back to the fact that this is all coded in to Ayurvedic and yogic wisdom and knowledge. That is mind-blowing. Just just take a moment to recognize that it's mind-blowing. That it's mind-blowing that every single piece of you can be tended to with deep love, compassion, intelligence, right? Holistic intelligence that is unparalleled. What other medicine system is giving you this? No stone is unturned. And a part of why no stone is unturned is because a huge piece of this wisdom requires you to cultivate your own inner wisdom and intuition. And that wisdom is celebrated, is acknowledged. It's not a one size fit all. Like it's actually incredible on both ends. So I, as a practitioner, can meet with 3 different people who have the exact same come with the same challenges, but know that I need to address them differently because they're all in very different contexts and have differing associated issues that determine how I approach them. So there's one piece that the person who comes to me as well gets a one size fit all protocol. But there's another piece is that that same person can go to 5 different Ayurvedic coaches or practitioners and receive guidance that is going to benefit them, but is different because the practitioner had a different insight and approach and wisdom that they wanted to bring in. And all are equally correct. It honors your unique wisdom. It honors your unique brilliance. So that's something I really want you all to feel into as people here that are wanting to serve the collective, wanting to show up for your people, wanting to leave a legacy, really, like be known and create value and share in a way that feels super aligned and purposeful for you and live that life. To know that you get to do it in your unique way. You get to actually tap into your God-given wisdom that is unique to you. So you will never be in comparison and competition with anyone else. Ever. You can't be. Because what you have, no one else has. Even if they call themselves a coach, a teacher, a mentor, a psychologist, a therapist, a trainer, they don't have what you have. As long as you are honoring what you have. And that's the beauty of the framework that is Ayurveda and yoga. And I hope my students here, like this is, so much for you as well. I hope, because I can only see some of your faces at a time, but I hope you all are really receiving this as you step into this 3rd phase of actually doing consultations and case studies, really honoring that, yes, you've heard me speak and you know my approach very well now, but you have your own personal experiences and wisdom. And I want you to really honor that. I want you to know that these last months, you've done the work of clearing out toxins from your body, strengthening your inner sense of awareness, becoming more in touch with your own intuition. And now you get to use that as part of all the theoretical training that you've already gone through. Is this landing? Do we have any questions that are coming up for any of you? Any thoughts? Yeah, Bree?
This is a little bit more related towards like the nourishment aspect. I
Yeah.
was wondering what your input is on quinoa
Mm-hmm.
and how that would affect if we eat it.
Mm-hmm. So quinoa is a light grain. It's not as heavy and nourishing as maybe grains like rice, for example, or thinking some like red rice, brown rice are kind of heavier. But if it's cooked well and you add good spices and herbs to it, it's totally fine. But it is a bit of a lighter grain. So if someone was experiencing like gas or bloating or too much fluctuation of wind, air, energy in their body, then I would move them towards grains that are slightly heavier in nature, but all round, it's a totally suitable grain.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We have a couple more minutes, so if you have any questions at all about anything, like the girls who also joined in and didn't come with questions, Baljot, Danya, if you have anything you wanted to just check in about. Yeah, Danya? Wait, unmute yourself.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I know that there'd probably be a lot to go into, so I'll just keep it really general, but I've been trying to establish like more boundaries with my family that I'm living with right now, and they're not really like receiving it. And I know that I need to make some changes because I just got a substitute teaching position I told you about. I just got it, and I'm really excited to be with these kids, and I want to be the best influence I can be, but I know I need to do it from within first. And I guess there's just some changes I need to make, and one of them, I think I don't know, I just want to know if you have any advice on like breaking like some types of habits. Like for example, I've been able to break like my eating habit a little bit, which was like emotionally overeating. But another thing that I'm doing, I feel like it's kind of holding me back, but I just feel like a strong tie to it has been like smoking weed. And I feel like that's been giving me like more confidence in social situations. And I know I'm going to be doing it less now, but and maybe even not at all. Like I might completely just cut it out. I just wanted to get your thoughts on what does Ayurveda say about like herbs like that? Like what is it against that?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Thanks. Sorry,
So
that was
with
so long.
no. So congrats on the substitute position. I know you were really, really yeah,
Thanks for
beautiful.
helping me. Yeah.
So this is a great question on plant medicine for all of you in general, and it's kind of a good note to close on, which is all plants, according to Ayurveda, can be medicine and can be poison, depending on the context in which they're used, the way in which they're cooked, and the combination with which they're taken. So there are many layers to it, right? How are they procured? The quality, the way that they're processed, how they're cooked, how they're consumed, and the context. Weed, marijuana, smoked is drying and heating to the body.
Okay.
Drying and heating. So let's just think about what I said about nervous system dysregulation, which is something that you obviously need to support your body with. What you just brought up some things that Brianna had also brought up. So learning how to nourish, ground, and care for your body so that you're less prone to toxic coping mechanisms is absolutely essential for you. And bringing in things that are drying, unfortunately, aggravates vata. So I'm not the wind energy in the body. So I'm not saying that cannabis or marijuana might not be suitable for you, but not in the form of it being smoked and inhaled. That piece is not actually serving your full mind body system as a whole.
Okay.
It's possible that, because in Ayurveda, there are medicinal formulas created with marijuana, but they're cooked in ghee, they're consumed with milk, they're more grounding and nourishing in the way that they're prepared. And they have other herbs so as to counteract some of the maybe slightly aggravating factors. Right, like Brianna says. So this is something that I need to work with you more in depth to really say specifically what I would recommend, but I definitely would say if it's possible for you to cut out, pause, minimize smoking, 100%.
Okay. I can do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to be a student for you in the future after I finish my school program. I want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Beautiful. Did you have a question, Elf? I saw you raise your hand in the middle.
Oh, it wasn't so much a question, but more so a suggestion when it comes to making herbal blends with marijuana. Because I, on occasion, will smoke marijuana, but I mix it in with a bunch of supporting herbs like chamomile, calendula, mullein. Sometimes I'll throw in lavender and peppermint just to
Right.
really balance it out. Because, yeah, I have noticed like the heat that comes with just straight marijuana. And oftentimes if someone offers it like in community, I'll take a hit and feel the difference. So I always bring my blend with me everywhere I go. And I find that the combination of those herbs kind of balance it out and make it more smooth for me. But yeah, it's all about playing around with the ratios too, what your body likes, needs, and all of that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to share.
Thank you, Elf. Beautiful. Yeah. This is the brilliance as well of Ayurveda, which is like really respecting the herbs, and saying there's a spirit element that needs to be honed in on, and it's not the same as creating synthetic supplements of it. Like how it works in your body, it's just like a whole being, you know, like I said, how it's procured, how it's grown, the love with which it's tended to, the way in which it's processed, all of these things. If it's a dry juice form, like ginger dry, ginger fresh, ginger juice, ginger grated, it all has different ways of acting through the body. So that really makes you respect the plant more, to be like, oh wow, okay, you're like a full spectrum of a being. And yeah, so if I think I'm going to close on there, but just for any of you girls who are not my students and are thinking of joining a future program, do look into it because it's absolutely life-changing. We move through first your individual health for many weeks, one-on-one, so that you really feel clean, inside, outside, clear, confident, and experience the potency of Ayurveda real time so that you feel an integrity. Then you actually learn the fundamentals. Everything that I spoke about are things that my students know. They're nodding their heads. I'm not lying. They know all of this. They could show up for you in the way that I did, which is incredible. And then there's a piece of learning how to bring it together, which is the piece we're in now, is how to do case studies, how to hold space for people, and as well, within your unique context, how to use this wisdom in a way that is specifically unique to you. Not all of you might necessarily want to be Ayurvedic health coaches, right? Some of you are just want to be a holistic practitioner. Some of you are yoga teachers. Some of you are humanitarians. Like Jane here works in a corporate space. Steffi, who just left, is a humanitarian. But how can you use this wisdom within the circumstance that you're in to elevate every single thing that you do? That's also a piece, so that you feel like this is my unique path, and feel so in love with it, and feel so like I have all of the wisdom that I need to do this thing. Like I'm tapped in to the most ancient life science known to mankind. Die in peace, knowing that. So if any of you are feeling called,
I'm taking in applications right now, and everyone that I choose is based on heart-centered residents. So it's really like the cohort is so brilliant, so supportive, so loving. That's a big piece of it as well. You get to be connected to women who want to hold you, and you get to receive their love, which is life-changing. So please message me, DM me if you're interested at all, and we can talk through the logistics, what it would mean for you. I think all of you know where to find the details, right? Okay, good. Beautiful. I'm going to close it at that unless we have any final thoughts. Beautiful. Okay, take off your mic, say bye so I can hear you.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye. Thank you.
Have a good
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love you, Nat. Bye.
Love you. Bye.